Strength and blessings out there. This is executive creator Alexander Asafa of Brotherhood Language, approaching conversation kinetically about fiction, aka Black AF. I'm here to tell you about the Anchor app. Let me explain. Let's get right to it. Number one, the Anchor podcast app is free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you. You can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many, many, many more. You can make money from your podcast right now with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started right now. This is Brotherhood Language, approaching conversation kinetically. My name is Alexander Asafa, and this is Black as
Brotherhood Language, approaching conversation kinetically about fiction. This is Black as
Let's get it, bro. Let's get it.
Yeah.
All right. Brotherhood Language, approaching conversation kinetically about fiction. This is Black as Fuck. My name is Alexander Asafa. Strength and blessings to y'all. Super excited today. Got a special guest with us. Good friend of mine. We met through Mike Wellman, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
That's
Mike
right.
Wellman,
Okay.
When he was
Down
at the comic book.
At the comic book, right? Before COVID, before the comic book drama, to say the least.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. My man Daniel Jerome, aka, let me see if I can get this right on the first try. Battlestar Galactica. Right?
Bravo.
Right.
I mean, yeah, I have a lot of AKAs. That's my thing, actually. Just a line and string of AKAs. So that one's a pretty good one. I mean, I've got a few. I'm telling you, like AKA Purveyor of Petty, AKA Controversial Conversationalist, AKA Intergalactic Instigator, AKA Kurt Hustle, AKA Leonardo No Caprio, AKA Chuck Luggage, AKA Never Catch a Case, AKA Danny Digital, AKA The Bicon. That's me.
Danny Digital. I love the alliteration.
Yeah.
You Bobby's cousin.
Hey, you know.
Rhyme star. I spit $100,000 bar. Don't get me started.
Ooh.
Not get me started.
Bravo.
Come on. The woo.
Right,
woo. Represent. Great to have you here, bro. Special guest guy. Fellow Black AF affiliate.
Yes.
You also have your own brand as well, the Illuminati, correct?
That's correct. Okay. The Illuminati, it's pretty much just a nerd collective. We come together from all walks of life, and we're into everything that's trending in geek pop culture, and we just want to be able to share it with the world. That's why we exist. So, you know, there was Nerdist and et cetera, but the Illuminati usually has pretty good info. Spoilers abound, and we want to share it with the world.
Right on. So let me finish the rest of the bumper. You can find us at BLACKAZFUK, TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. We don't do TikTok dances around here unless I feel like it. Right now, I have not felt like it, but you can find clips and content of our podcast on TikTok. Thank you for laughing, Daniel Jerome. I need to make that clear. B. Walt, my partner in crime, my business partner, is taking a well-deserved vacation right now. He says strength and blessings. He appreciates you coming through, Mr. Danny Digital. I'm gonna see if I can flip the AKs throughout the whole thing. See how many I got in my mind. But he'll be back, I believe, 2 weeks from now. But let's get to this show. Right behind me on this screen is our website, www.blackafhq.com. You can sign up and check out the show on this tab in the corner, Black AF Live, to jump in on the show every week, 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Enough of the bumper stuff. Let's get to rocking and rolling. We need to talk about this this very special What If episode that came out last week. Star-Lord is in the What If scenarios on the Disney Plus show. Is the one and only Black Panther, voiced by the one and only Chadwick Boseman, strength and blessings, Wakanda forever, my dude.
Hold on.
Hold on. Wait. What's going on here? What's happening?
I gotta put on my Kamoyo beads, come through proper.
So just in case, okay, so Daniel Jerome clearly has access to the door in Melage. All right.
Yes.
So you don't want the smoke. You do not want the smoke. I hope I can get myself protected from the smoke too now that I know that's here. That's an option.
I'm saying.
But yeah, that's amazing. Real quick, bro, before we jump into this, that Tribe Called Quest picture, please tell the audience, the 12 people that are watching, what this is about.
All right, well, the Tribe Called Quest, my favorite hip hop group, band, just whatever it may be. Come on, the abstract. Come on, how am I going to say no to that? And with it, my daughter happens to be a jack of all trades. She does everything. She's an artist. She's musically inclined, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So with that being the case, Father's Day came around and she wanted to do something. I am a reasonable father. So first thing I thought was, how can you get me a gift that you're not spending money on, that I won't have to, receive and go, oh, thank you, and throw away? Because I come on, the ties, the this, the that. I want something that I want, that I like. And she loves that idea. So I told her, you know what? I love Tribe Called Quest. How about we, head on over to Brick or whatever and get you all the supplies and you give me their cover. And she was like, oh, I'm in immediately. It was a great challenge. So she painted it and there it is, an actual painted cover of Tribe Called Quest, Low End Theory.
Looks amazing, bro.
Yeah.
Looks clean.
By next time, if I'm ever back on, you'll see a new one by then. You'll have a new one.
Right on.
Yeah.
Right on.
I tend to try to keep my place kind of like I'm still in college. So it's not that great. But, I've got the lights for the ladies. So it works.
Right on. I get that. Every now and then, Jodeci is necessary.
Yeah.
Every now and then. Every now and then. All right. Let's. I digress. That's my fault. I apologize. Let's talk about this What If episode, though. DJ, tell me, what did you think about the episode?
The episode was amazing. There were so many callbacks to so many things that were happening. And it was great to see that. I'm going to be honest. It's great to see a Black Star-Lord that actually does what he's supposed to do and makes things better. Versus, we have Quill, and let's just be honest, Quill is a mess up. Quill's an F up. He's not that good at what he does. But here goes T'Challa. This man is just complete focus on everything that he does. And you can see that the way he was taught, the way he was raised sticks with him. And it grows with him. So much so that it carries to a completely different galaxy. And it still comes through that this man truly is a prince. Royalty is not just a title. It's truly something that he is. And you see it. And I loved it. I loved it.
Well said. For those that have watched the show know, I am very passionate about the whole Chadwick thing. It's frustrating. Just, I don't want to rehash, but just, like literally as he's about to step into, I guess, the limelight within the culture, within society, and, with the next phase of being, the next leader of the Avengers, and we like literally lose the guy. It's super frustrating. I enjoyed the episode. My man, I call him Papa Midnight because I love Constantine.
Bravo! Thank you. There are so many people who don't love Constantine, and I love that movie. To hear it, I'm like, thank you. I love that's one of my favorite DC movies.
Yes. One of my favorite movies, just period.
Bravo. Okay, we're in this.
Absolutely.
We're in this.
I forget his real name, but he he was the soldier that engaged Star-Lord at the top.
That's correct.
I loved seeing
it's
him.
Jaimin Henson.
Yes, thank you. It's I've never seen him really be like, I've seen him be like sarcastic, funny, and things of that nature. But he was like, he was like excited and energetic, and I was like, okay, this is, and he felt right. And he was kind of geeking out but trying to do his job at the same thing. So that was fun. Seeing Thanos and Nebula, it had a very sort of like, to me, intergalactic noir feel, because of like, you couldn't trust the damsel in distress, but then you could, and then then you didn't. That was dope. The Howard the Duck, the little cameo, Seth Green did a great job with that. I loved it. These and even the one with Captain Carter, I mean, so far so good. It still was hard, and it was crazy to me watching this episode, and I don't know, it just, something about this episode had a vibe, like it was like an ode to him, like even before, and I'm like, wait, they said they didn't know. They said that they found out after he was done, but it felt like it was like, even with Papa Midnight starting out the beginning, like, oh, it's you, like, you that dude. And it's like, wait, how does that even connect that way? Is that on me? Is that something they did? Like, you know what I'm saying? It was weird that way.
See, the truth of the matter is, it was like immediately after that episode, I went ahead and tweeted, did anyone else cry when watching this episode? Because it was something that really was, there was so much emotion involved, and you can see that every step of the way for this episode was taken care of with like hands of love. Like, they worked to make sure that he was in this great light. They made sure that like everything worked out well for it. The art was a little bit better than it was on Captain Carter, which is weird to say, but if you actually pay attention to it, you'll see it. Just in the cell shading and everything, it was just a little bit different. They really worked to make sure that this was a great homage to him. And from what I understand, he's going to be, well, in total, 4 episodes. So he's got 3 more left. And I'm just wondering, like, how great is this going to be? Because ultimately they're going to connect and become like this, like the ultimate Avengers in a way. So that's what's going to happen. So it's just like, I'm going to get to see him again. And this wasn't the first time. So kind of be ready and expect more tears.
If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. That's what's up. That's what's up. Great insight, bro. Awesome. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's a solid replacement for my Loki rehab. You know what I'm saying? Like, my withdrawal from the Loki situation. But so far so good. And yeah, they did my man justice. And yeah, I'm looking if we got 3 more, that's awesome. That's awesome. Let's keep it pushing. I want to talk now. Okay, Danny Digital.
Yes.
Battlestar Galactica.
That's right.
I'm forgetting all the aliases, but we got a whole show for me to remember these motherfuckers.
Don't worry.
He's got the scoop on a movie that I'm trying to see. He's already seen it.
Yeah.
So word on the street is it's called Shang-Chi.
Hold on, wait a minute.
Uh-oh. See, every time he get up, y'all need to be afraid. There's something new coming.
So yeah, we're going to talk about Shang-Chi. And they gave me this at the premiere. I love this. I was like, dang, this is pretty dope. I'm like, all right, not bad. But yeah, so we're going to talk about Shang-Chi.
Now, before
Shang-Chi.
Now, before you start firing off, this is what we call movie dance. Yes. We're going to talk about it. We're going to speak about it without any spoilers.
Yes.
So, and from what I was told, if he were to give me any privy, like delicate information, I might not make it out of this episode. So I want to keep my life. I want to edit this episode. I want to put this up and do episode 30 next week. So
I'm just saying, Kevin Feige got some shooters, and I don't want to deal with any of it. I heard a whole story about Owen Wilson, like just talking about his mustache and why he had the mustache for Loki. And then he got a text message from a number he does not have saved in his phone, and it said strike one. I'm like, yo, all right, you hear that kind of stuff. Kevin Feige, this is a man who everyone knows he's balding. And he's like, I'm still going to wear a cap in public, and y'all ain't going to say nothing about it. And no one says anything about it. That's Godfather level kind of, we know who not to mess with. So
but I don't want the Alfred Molina treatment. That's all I'm saying.
I'm saying, usually I'm here for the smoke. You're like, I'm down, I'm ready. I got a gas mask on, but not for Kevin Feige.
Outside of the NCAA, Disney is the biggest gangster around. I'm just going to put it out there.
Outside of the NCAA.
Just going to put it like that.
That's right on it. That's right on it. That's not even a question.
But DJ, get him. Fire away. Talk about this movie. What you think?
Shang-Chi, I'm going to say this. When it comes to Marvel films, Shang-Chi is different. And it's different because it's one, we have the best MCU origin I've seen in a very long time.
Wow.
We're getting the origin in real time. It's happening right there. It's not, oh, hey, remember when, and then catch up and then deal with what's happening now. Everything that happens for his origin is in real time. The number of cameos in the film, for nerds like us, it's huge. Like, you're gonna see this one person with another person that's doing this with something else, and blah blah. The references, they're dropping jewels all day, just killing you with stuff. Oh my god, some of the best action sequences. Actually, put me down for it. The best action sequences in MCU history. Because
ever?
Yeah, I'm saying this only because a lot of it was not CG. A lot of it was live in camera. This man worked for this role. And it comes down to it because Shang-Chi is supposed to be the best fighter, hands down, in Marvel.
Okay.
Here, you see him. You see him working it. You're like, yo, okay, I get it. And also, the film is connected to other Marvel films, probably earlier Marvel films. Or a better way to say it is, Shang-Chi is a trailblazer. As far as, like, hey, all the things I'm doing here in this film. And to be a trailblazer, you're going to want kind of reference another trailblazer. Maybe the first MCU film, who knows? And there happens to be a lot of connection to it. That's all I'm saying.
Movie dance.
There you go. Just dancing around it. And I will say, if you happen to be a fan of karaoke, you'll enjoy some scenes in the film.
How about that? Okay.
That's how I'll kind of give it to you.
I can do really some BBD on the carrot. It's been a while though since I've done some BBD, but man, I'm sure.
Trust me. You're gonna watch it and be like, oh word. All right, I get it. I'm in. And it's just, it's a great film. Well, I won't give it the title of film, but it's a good movie. It's a really good movie. Like,
I can dig it.
You'll watch it again. You'll tell other people about it. You'll be moments where you're like, oh, did you see the? And then when that happens, like, it's going to be a lot of that. People are going to be talking about the film for a while, and it's just a shame that it's like they chose to make sure that they only release it in theaters because a lot of people, unfortunately, will not see it. Unfortunately, a lot of people will not see it. People are like, hold on, I don't want the vid, so I'm not going out, and then I'm not going to go see the movie. And it's not on Disney Plus.
So let's talk about that for a bit. So you think, in terms of the current climate we're in, that it not being available on Disney Plus is going to be a negative? It's going to be it's not going to help or benefit the movie, is what you're saying?
I do think that's going to actually kind of take down from the film, especially box office numbers. Now that will be a reason for. I'm going to be honest. This is going to be a reason for white execs to just say, "Well, see, hey, we tried it. We tried it. It's just not that good." You know, I mean, Black Panther, that's lightning in a bottle, but we can't make it happen for every minority. Sorry, that's it. And they're just going to leave it.
Okay, and see, we actually talked about this last week on the show about Bob Chapek calling this movie an experiment.
Yeah,
and
it is.
Right. And so, is this essentially a way to sabotage to undercut the project?
I hope it isn't, but a lot of things seem to me to point to that's exactly what's happening. I mean, and if we're going to talk about it, I mean, just films in general and movies in general, people are saying the same thing for Candyman. Right. So it's like the true test of intelligence is being able to think analogously, being able to draw analogies, find similarities, and put them together. And that would be a similarity: Candyman and Shang-Chi, both marginalized individuals, heroes, protagonists, whatever it may be, pretty much just people that aren't white. And seeing how they're going to do at the box office, leading, rolling, and rushing this film. So it's a question of, why did you choose this to be the case? Why didn't you choose to do this for Black Widow? Why did you still say we're going to do Black Widow on Disney Plus? And why couldn't you just do the same thing for Shang-Chi?
Right.
Disney Plus and theaters, and still try to pull in the largest amount that you can.
Yeah. That's a great question, and I've thought about it myself. And for me, I'm really curious of the timing in which these decisions were made, because it's like, I get why Scarlett's mad, 100%. I get it. Like, especially if she's not getting a cut of that Premier Access money, I get why she's mad. I also feel it wasn't necessary to do both, because it's Black Widow. We've been with her for almost 10 years now as Black Widow, throughout how many MCU movies?
Yeah.
And you already had the delays, you already had the issues, and we all understand that. But in terms, why not flip it and give Shang-Chi both Premier Access as well as theater access? Because you have a movie that's, like you said, it's not about white people. It is, quote, an experiment. And I get the business mindset about that. But if you wanted to succeed, it's funny how people, this is a personal sort of note for me. Me and B. Walt, before COVID, we were promoting and creating comedy shows throughout LA, in the area. And it was, I got to be full disclosure, the one black venue, the one black comedy venue that we were working with, gave us the hardest time for really reasons I'm not sure. And I'm bringing this all together because he said, you guys can have the date, you guys got to meet these numbers and blah, 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 this and that, but we're not going to promote your show because we don't have time. And it's like, you have a dead night at your venue. You wouldn't be making money either way. So we're saying we can come in and help, but you don't have the time for good business. Because we had a great show. We sold out the comic scripts and things like that. But it didn't make it. Are we talking, how's this personal? How does this affect business in a positive way? So it's sad to hear that even on this scale, above the NCAA, we're still having these types of conversations with major entities within entertainment. It's really weird. Because I don't see why if Shang-Chi if it were to be successful, close, I don't think it'll ever get to Black Panther 1 because of just everything around it.
No.
But why not give it an opportunity to get there? Like, why not? What's the benefit otherwise?
I mean, right now you guys are walking around singing the song of "Stop Asian Hate." Why not stop Asian hate this way as well at the box office?
This is a part that would support it.
There you go. I'm just saying it makes no sense, and it's like that's why my phrase lately has been Hollywood is Brooklyn, man. That's it. And when I say Hollywood is Brooklyn, Hollywood is Brooklyn, I have this joke where I always say like Hollywood has become an apartheid sponsored by Urban Outfitters and Starbucks, the two whitest things that you know that pretty much are always ready to go ahead and take from other cultures, hold on to, say it's theirs, and that's it. And when they have an opportunity to pretty much promote other cultures that are not white, they'll drag their feet. They'll say things like, "Oh yeah, we really wanted to, but COVID, so we're not gonna go ahead and put this on here, or we're not gonna promote this. We're not gonna tell. We don't think it's gonna work anyway." That's the truth of the matter. They don't think it's going to work, so they're not willing to go ahead and try to promote it. It's like how they say black films in Japan. It's like, oh, well, it's a black film. We're not really going to promote it. I mean, come on, it's just not going to work. Or like in Korea, where they're like, we only allow 5 U.S. films per quarter to be introduced. And out of those 5 U.S. films, guess what's not going to happen? It's not going to be black. And it's like, okay, fuck. But it's true because they're like, look, we don't know anything about black culture. We don't know anything about black people, but take the time. Go ahead and, if it is an experiment, actually let it be an experiment.
Max it out. If you're gonna be a monkey, be a motherfucking gorilla. Like, what's the point?
There you go. But it's like, that's what they choose to just always figure a way to avoid. And it's just like, it's upsetting. It's ridiculous. It's honestly, you're mocking us. You're mocking anyone who isn't white because you're not willing to take the chance. But yet you'll take a chance on a white film about we'll do a white film about incest and we'll see if it works. And you're like, what the fuck? But yet you won't do this. And it's like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
So it drives me insane. It really upsets me. But
there's something underlying there that's not about business. It's not about.
It's not.
It's another layer, and it's a sad one. Real quick before, because I actually have another question for you correlated to all of this. But what's scale of 1 to 10, Shang-Chi? What are you giving it? Without you, great job with the dance. Great job with the dance.
Right.
What's your score on a 10 scale?
Shang-Chi 1 to 10, 10 being the highest.
10 being the highest.
I'm saying this in public with anyone. Shang-Chi gets a very strong 8, probably even a 9.
A 9 on the 10 scale as an MCU movie.
Yeah. Actually, no.
Wow.
Wait, sorry. No, give it an 8. Give it an 8. Because honestly, okay, here's one thing I'm gonna say, and I don't care. It's not gonna ruin it. Feige's not gonna come for me on this one. But this film also still has the MCU curse of having a weak third act where you depend on a lot of CG out of nowhere and you hope that it works, but the CG was sloppy and didn't look good. I'm looking at Black Panther at this point. That whole thing with the super subway or whatever it was, and blah blah. I was like, we didn't need that much CG, man, and they really went for it, and went for it in the wrong direction. Kind of happens here in this film as well.
Gotcha.
Also happened in Ant-Man. If you really take your time and think about it, you start looking at the MCU films from phase 2 and on. Third act is the weakest because they think they're gonna let's blow our wad right here. And so they go for it, and it's just like, oh, was that it? Oh, that's cute. That's cute. That's cute. It's like that. But you are already here, so you're not going to leave, you know?
So, okay, this is the 24th movie in the MCU, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, 8 is still, that ain't a small number.
No.
Where is it in the top 10 for you?
Yes. Yes,
really?
It is. I'm not going to lie. It's in the top 10.
Okay, so now I got to know what dropped out now. What got kicked out the ranks?
That's a good question, because I don't know if I ever had a solid top 10. I mean, honestly, all right, I'm going to say this right off the bat. A lot of people are going to say, what the hell? But Winter Soldier is up there for me, because they could have gone,
I can watch Winter Soldier right now.
Thank you.
I stopped doing what I was doing.
They could have gone all super duper hero all day. They were like, no, espionage in a superhero world. Let's see how that works for you. And it was like, yo, bravo. Thank you for giving this to me. And it was great.
Bro, so when they're in the elevator, right?
I can watch that scene I used to watch that scene almost once a day.
But I know it's Metal Gear, though. Like, I know they got that from Metal Gear.
Oh my God, that's right. That's true.
So I was like, okay. Because when he got into the elevator, I was like, okay, this framing looks familiar. Nah, they're not going to do it. And then they did it. Bro, but that's not even the only thing. When he gets out of there, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is I tell everybody every time I talk about this movie. After he does the elevator scene, he goes out on his bike and beats up a jet. He beats up a fucking jet.
Yes.
Like, who else can say they beat up a jet, bro?
Nobody.
Nobody. He fucked it up. He fucked that jet up too. Like it was hands. I was like, I wish I could go into a bar. Hey man, what'd you do today, bro? I'm not gonna lie to you. I beat up a jet today. I beat up a fucking jet today. He's like, you beat up a jet? Yeah, man. Yeah, I fucked that motherfucker. Like, I would talk all day about that.
I would, literally. I would all day.
How'd you beat up a jet?
I showed up to my daughter's
Great
school.
question.
I showed up to my daughter's school. Time for Daddy-Daughter Day. I'm just here to tell everyone I beat the shit out of a fucking jet. Oh, what? I'm sorry, Miss Krabappel. What? Bad language? I'm sorry. I just beat the shit out of a fucking jet. How about that? You know, like, that would be it. I don't care.
I caught that. That was great. Yeah, I'd be cussing right in 6th grade, bro. Yeah. Right for my nephew, because I ain't got kids.
Oh,
but yeah. Why are you here? I beat up a fucking jet. You hear that, kids? I beat up a fucking jet. You want to grow up to be somebody? Be like me. I'm the only dude here that says he can beat up a jet. But yeah, so all right, we totally jump off the freeway there. Let's come back. So but is that the movie that gets tossed? Or no, that stays in the 10.
No, that stays. If I think about a movie that gets tossed, Guardians 1. Guardians 1 gets tossed.
I feel you on that. I do. Because Guardians is kind of in its own time capsule.
Yeah.
The first one.
Yeah.
The first one. Because I do like Guardians, and I don't know if it's in my top 10, but I understand why it would be. Okay.
I'll say this: when it comes to the Guardians or that whole kind of thing, it's when it comes to the space opera, you either got Guardians 1, you got Guardians 2, or you got Thor Ragnarok. One of those
Thor's not going anywhere. Thor Ragnarok.
That's what I'm like. One of those 3 is in your top 10. It's like, I don't care who you are. You say it. They're like, yeah, actually, yeah. I'm like, all right.
When I got a 6, Winter Soldier, Civil War, and this isn't really in any order. Ragnarok, Doctor Strange. Like, I love that movie.
Nice.
Iron Man 1 still pretty high for me.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a question. What did you think about Iron Man 3?
I thought all of them were shit after 1, to be honest with you.
I'll tell you this, and then maybe watch it again. Don't think of it as Iron Man 3. Think of it as Tony Stark Part 1. because it's a film about Tony Stark. Think about how little he uses the armor and how much he uses his ingenuity, his intelligence, his ability to fight because he can't fight, and he puts all of that together and has to pretty much just depend on himself. Not even Rhodey, not even like Friday. He has to depend on himself and do all of this. And you're like, damn, all right, you just took out a whole group of extremists by yourself with a paint can and a smart mouth kid. Like, when you really take the time to look at it, and then also the whole thing about like, oh, it's done during Christmas time. That's always cool. A summer film set in Christmas time is always like a thing for me. And then also just seeing that he himself was just like, you got to see Tony Stark as the man, stripped down from everything else. He still nonetheless holds on to his ego. That is not going anywhere. He was down to nothing, and he was still like, I'm still fucking amazing. You know, it's like, I see why you do think that way, because, yo, what the fuck? You just did a lot of shit. You're still fucking amazing.
Okay. You know what? I'm in the right mindset to accept that nod. I will check that out. Because the thing about the Iron Mans after the first one,
the second one is horrible.
They just like, I can't stand how like Rhodey ain't got no upgrades, B. Like he's been demade. Like seriously. Literally in like a lot of different ways. Like it's like, come on, man. Like this is War Machine, which I think is one of the dopest names ever.
War Machine, like, Iron Patriot. I mean, the man, he's pretty good at what he does. You know, he knows how to fly better than almost anyone else. Also, you know, he has a little bit of knowledge when it comes to combat. He should be better than Iron Man is as Iron Man.
Right. He's if the armor is the difference, then that's okay because Tony, you know, is Tony. But when it comes to like the sheer skill of it all, like he hasn't. What's been Rhodey's highlights other than him falling?
I was gonna say there hasn't been a highlight. There's literally been him breaking his back.
Right. And I love Don Cheadle. Like black as fuck. We all love Don Cheadle.
Like I'm a Don Cheadle head. I went to Shang-Chi. I said I cosplayed as Don Cheadle when I went to the Shang-Chi premiere because I just saw Don Cheadle on Kevin Hart's show, and I saw a vest. I saw a button-down kind of flannel thing, like a floral kind of button-down, short sleeve. I saw the hat, and I saw the white shoes. So I was like, all right, I got these beautiful white Chucks that are like, oh, classic, beautiful. I put those on. I went down to the garment district. I bought some, like, as I call them, dress jeans. They're like kind of special jeans and shit. And then, you know, I had a vest. I had the shirt. I went ahead and found the hat. Man, I was like, I'm Don Cheadle tonight. That was it. That's all I said. I was like, I'm Rhodey. That's it.
I'm 56 tonight. Damn.
Hey, there you go. There you go.
Damn.
There you go. There you go.
No,
like, that's what I was looking to do. And so I'm a Cheadle fan. I just don't feel they've done them right so far. But we do have that show coming out on Disney Plus.
Armor Wars.
Yes.
And let me take a moment to say shout out to Yasser Lesser, comic. Yes. We've crossed paths doing the Hollywood Improv.
I've worked with him on a all deaf digital thing. So he's great. He's great. Nah, that man's amazing.
He put, you know what? We met very briefly, but he was cool as a fan. Mm-hmm. And I'm, you know, he's been on this like slow and steady sort of like creep, like I'm getting to where I want to be. Yep. So shout out to him. Always appreciate you being a great dude. That's a black as fuck moment right here with Battlestar Galactica, aka
right.
Danny Digital.
Hashtag Blaccurate. That's what I am. So just letting you know.
Hashtag Blaccurate. That's amazing. That'll be on TikTok. That's gonna be on TikTok. All right. So now let me get to the next part of this Shang-Chi conversation. So Awkwafina, right? Now,
Right.
okay, now hold on. So I'm sure you've seen it as your guy in the news. There's been reports swirling of, cultural appropriation by this Asian woman.
Yeah.
B. Walt, he's got more of a history with her in terms of like where she came from and how she came up and stuff like that. But we were talking about this last week as well. So I want to ask you, now that you've seen the movie and you got a certain context many people don't have right now. What are your thoughts about Awkwafina? Have they changed? Is that changed for the good? Is it the bad? Where are you at? And where were you and where are you at right now when it comes to Awkwafina?
I love Awkwafina. I do. I've been following Awkwafina for a long time. Like I said, I worked at All Def Digital for a while. She crossed paths with us a few times. She was doing a lot of stuff in New York for us. And I mean, nice person, very funny, and creative, wants to get stuff out. The Blaccent. The Blaccent is the issue that everyone is going off about. Now, yeah, okay, she's from New York. And where she's from New York, it's very nice. it's like, for some people, if it's going to be a deep cut, but if you're from New York, if you ever heard of Riverdale in the Bronx, where you're like, oh, okay, it's a BX. Yo, it's like, all right, yeah, we good for this. It's a BX. No matter where you are on the BX, you good. Riverdale is not that part that you're good in. Riverdale is like a Yonkers. It's very nice, very white. And I bet when she's over there, she code switches. I bet she's not sounding the way she sounds when she goes back over there in that area over there in Brooklyn. That's really nice and clean, super duper gentrified.
Right.
But when she comes out of it to get to Queens, to get to everywhere else, oh, she turns it on. Now, are we going to say it's a Blaccent just because it's got a little flavor? I mean, if anyone else hears her anywhere else, they're going to be like, okay, I know you're from New York. That's one. So does that mean that it's actually a Blaccent? I mean, she's not saying the N-word. She's really not making a lot of hip-hop references. I guess I don't know. Try to think about how white people think we speak. But like,
that's tough.
I'm just saying, how do Karen think that they hear us? And you're like, I don't know, he talks a lot about rap. I don't know, he's a weed. That's what they talk about. I mean, she smokes a lot of weed, she does. But I wouldn't say, like, what exactly is a Blaccent?
That is up for, are you asking? It's rhetorical?
Actually, no, let's really go for it. For it.
In my opinion, it depends on the person that's hearing this accent, whether they come from. Huh?
Well, I mean, it is for your audience. Code switching, though. I mean, that's...
Well, yeah. I mean, so, like, it's... Here's the thing. For me personally, I'll speak for me. And I know very little about Awkwafina. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I've been following her for years.
No, I mean, but pretty much, if you've known about her for about 2 months, you know it all. Trust me, that's not too much.
Shit. and her cadence, I'll put it that way, hasn't bothered me. It has not bothered me.
Okay.
Some people, but again, this is off a small sample size. Mm-hmm. So, maybe after I see this movie, I might feel differently. Mm-hmm. But how can I put this? Like, so I'm from LA, right?
Right.
And where I'm from I'm from West LA, so I get some of the connotations that other cats from Inglewood or Compton or Watts would say, whatever. But the thing is, like, I'm an 80s baby, and where I grew up in West LA, we call it the Jewish ghetto because like if we went right to the block on the right, drugs, violence, kids being shot, face down, I'm 6 years old. If I go left to the block this way, all Jewish, Orthodox, the curly sideburns, the hats that look like hat boxes.
Jeez,
on the hat.
Well, I'm just gonna blow you out there. You're in the La Brea area?
I'm over by you know where Hamilton is?
Oh,
Hamilton
yeah. All right. Okay. All right.
So,
that makes sense.
but like it's such a small, like condensed area. If you weren't growing up there, you don't know about it.
Yep.
People just have this thing. Oh, you're a West Side baby. And then I went to Palisades, so there's another connotation.
Oh.
But they don't know that that there were 18 buses coming in with nothing but black kids since the early 90s. Like you got to know.
Yep.
Like so I know what code switching is, right? And I've never heard my spider senses never went off like, okay, she's bullshitting and pump faking.
Same.
Like that's to say all that is what I'm wanting to say. So I got no problem with her, but again, it's been a small sample size. But I wanted to get your take because you got more of a body. Clearly, you got more of a body of work with her.
Yeah, like I feel the same. I just look. She's got a raspy voice because she's been a smoker since she was fucking 14. So that voice is not going to change. Now the thing is, a lot of people are upset and they're like, "Oh, so you have a Blaccent and you can drop it." I don't know how she dropped it, but they're saying that she drops it for the movie. I saw the film and I'm like, "This is Awkwafina." I mean, have you guys not watched her show on Comedy Central?
Right.
Like Awkwafina from Queens or whatever. It's literally that character, and they just put it in this movie. And they were just like, hey, just no cussing. You can say shit, but no cussing. And that's exactly what happened. And I was like, that's exactly what I'm seeing. And that's Awkwafina. What are you talking about? I do remember a time before that there's video of her, let's say it honestly, blacking it up. There are videos of her blacking it up when she was early beginning. But I'm going to say this, truth of the matter is there's only one way you were able to get on back then, which was like, all right, who do I have to appeal to? Then let me do it. And people just ate it up. They were, an Asian girl that's like black. I love that. And we never thought about that until later when we get settled. Then we're like, hey, hold on. What the fuck? And I think she figured that out at the same time. And she kind of let some of that go and she just still stayed herself. And that's what I see now. I don't see the Blaccent. People are saying that whole thing. I'm like, yo, you need to watch earlier videos of her. You'll truly be upset. Because what you see now, it's like, oh, okay. It feels like if you watch early videos of her, you're like, God damn, is that blackface? Like it feels like that.
Right.
So her doing what she does now, I think it's fun. And then people talking about how she's why isn't she doing the Asian accents in films? And her response was, I'm really bad at it. I'll go into one, all of a sudden I'm in another one. And she was like, if you're Asian, you know the differences in the dialect and how it goes. Like I'm Haitian. I can do a Haitian accent and sound like it and do perfectly fine. But you asked me to do a Jamaican and I'm like, damn, I'm not that good at it, B. Like I'll fuck up and start going right back into Haitian. You're like, what the hell? So it's like she gets the same thing. Like I do for Caribbean, she gets it for that. And she was like, yeah, I'll start off here. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, I'm Filipino. And then now I'm Korean. Oh, I'm fucking Cambodian. Like, so she's not going to do it. And I'm like, I get that. And it's like, people don't. And they're just like, well, so you can do black, but you can't do Asian. And it's like, she stopped doing black a long time ago. She's just her.
Right.
That's my opinion.
I feel, so I forget her name. Back, what was it, like 2014, 2015, I'm So Sexy.
Oh, God.
Nick Young was dating her. I can't think of her name right now. the Blaccent was killing me with her because
it was bad.
I could just hear it over the radio. Like, okay, this bitch ain't black. Like this is before any video or anything had popped up, but just on the radio, I was like, wow, okay. And I get the business move behind it, but she's selling wolf tickets right now.
Yeah,
I wish I could think of her name, but you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah. It's kind of like well, you're from LA, right?
Yep.
All right. Theo, the radio host, he used to be on a K-Day. He was an Asian guy.
Yeah.
Korean.
Yeah.
Sounded like the blackest man in the fucking world. And it was a huge thing when people started to find out that Theo was Asian. And he was like, yeah, I never hit it. I don't understand what's going on. This is just me. This is how I talk. And I was just like, all right, more power to you. Because it wasn't a Blaccent. He just sounded black. He just sounded black. He was like, I'm Korean. I grew up in Oakland. This is my life. And I'm like, all right, I guess. I mean, that's how it is. But once we found out, they were like, well, we're not listening to you anymore. And then he was gone. Baker Boy showed up, and that was it.
Oh, the Baker Boys.
Oh, yeah.
You going, what? You
man,
me
trust me,
right
I have a zeitgeist of when it comes to pop culture of any type. So I know it, and I know pop culture regionally because I grew up in New York, but I was here in LA every summer. I know this shit like back and forth.
That's what's up. Are you from New York originally?
Yeah, Staten Island.
That's what's up. So you really are Wooden. Like,
oh yeah. I grew up at the same time as them, man. I'm like, yeah, I know.
That's what's up. All right, let's let me check these notes. Let's keep it pushing. We've been here for a minute, but it's all good.
Well, one thing I did want to talk about, that I know you had in the notes, and we're kind of floating around it, still talking about Marvel. Backtracking just a little bit, RiRi Williams.
Yes, that's exactly where I was going. Yeah, RiRi. Hey, well, you got it right there. So let's run it.
This is huge. This is huge.
This might get me to watch the movie sooner than I wanted to, actually.
Oh
man. The Chadwick thing is like, it's too near to me, bro. It's too near. And like, you know, I don't know much about like I've stayed away from news about the movie because of how I felt. So I don't know if Michael B. Jordan's coming back or not. I don't know if that's been confirmed.
Right.
You know, so it's a tough thing for me to touch because then also like D squared. See what I did there? My favorite character in Marvel is Doctor Doom. So
that's a good that's a good get. That's a good one to choose as like your favorite villain. I mean, super intellect. He has a suit, and he is not afraid of magic. He could have been the Sorcerer Supreme. I mean,
he's strange and Reed Richards at the same time.
Same damn time.
The same damn time, and got a bone to pick with somebody.
Like, yo,
I'm in.
On his shoulder.
Right. He's done things by.
He wasn't part of the Illuminati, like when they put the whole Illuminati together. But it's like, well, I do get it because Reed would have been like, I don't want that fucker there, you know. So I get it.
But so I did read this about RiRi. We talked about it earlier. For those who don't know, RiRi Williams is a teen black young girl genius that showed up in Iron Man back in 2016, I believe.
Yes.
Am I correct?
That's
right.
Correct.
Okay. And she got accepted to MIT at 15 years old. This is her story. And she essentially built her own Iron Man suit with the resources at MIT. Yep. Got on Iron Man's radar. He godfathered her, gave her his blessing. She kissed the ring. And now she's showing up in Black Panther 2. This is a
little bit farther than that. Because like in the comic, remember, at this time, Tony somehow later dies. and uploads his consciousness to the whole computer thing. He becomes her Jarvis, essentially. He becomes her AI in her suit. That was what happened in the comic. So
that's what's up.
That would be a big thing, and that's why a lot of people are happy that she's there, because with that being there, people are all hoping and praying we're gonna get to see Robert Downey Jr. again. Like, that's what a lot of people are thinking of. But it's like, it's different for us because it's representation, it's inclusiveness. It means so much. It's a Black Panther step, you know? And it's great to see, because I know a lot of us were thinking, well, who is going to replace Iron Man, and who's also going to replace Chadwick? It was always the question of those two. And a lot of people were thinking that, okay, well, they'll go ahead and put Shuri in the place of Iron Man because she's a genius, blah, blah, blah. And with that happening, we were like, well, who's really going to take the mantle of the Black Panther? Now, in the comic, there's a moment where T'Challa dies. He becomes king of the dead, right? Necropolis and this whole thing. And while he's down there doing that, Shuri takes the mantle of Black Panther. This happens in the comic. So I always thought that maybe this will be what happens in the film. They'll say, okay, he somehow has passed, or he had to go and become god of the dead because a whole thing with Boss and blah, 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 blah. So while he's there, she's now the Black Panther. And while that's happening, we'll have RiRi now show up and go ahead and be our new Iron Man, be our new Tony Stark. So this way, it's Black women just running everything. So I was like, that would be dope. So
you're rooting for Shuri to take the mantle.
I'm rooting for Shuri to take the mantle, but there's a lot of speculation. I will say speculation and rumor, not
movie dance.
Actually, yes,
movie dance.
Yeah, they moving around, dancing around it. But there's a lot of that happening that people are saying. Now with the whole multiverse, blah blah blah, they may go ahead and bring what's his name back,
Tony
Killmonger.
Oh, Killmonger,
and have him be the
guy.
Golden Panther, essentially. And I'm like, well, I mean, alternate dimension or alternate, whatever, Killmonger, I could see the Dora Milaje and everything accepting that. But if they brought him back from the dead and then he's like, yeah, and I'm good now, I don't think they'd just be like, oh, sure, that's fine. No, I mean, no, we just had a whole fucking war because of your dumbass. So I doubt they're just going to be okay with him coming back as him. So I think the only way he'll be able to take on the mantle is if it's from an alternate dimension. Or, how we have all the splitter realities now.
And just so we're clear, this is something you don't have any information on. This is all hyperbole.
I don't have any information on that. This is all speculation. Complete speculation. Shout out Kevin Feige. Complete speculation.
This report is Blaccent. Just so we're clear. This is a Blaccent report.
Yeah. Be as accurate as possible by knowing that this is just speculation.
Right. Let's keep it pushing. Let me check these notes. Black Canary spinoff, according to comicbook.com, is in development for HBO Max from the Lovecraft Country showrunner.
Yeah.
And we see who that is on the article, don't we? Don't we? So, yes, I'm in. I fucks with HBO. I fucks with Black Canary, and I fucks with this young lady. Like this ain't nothing but good for me. It sucks that Lovecraft Country isn't coming back.
Yeah, I have some words.
But I'm glad that the creator, I forget her name right now, but she signed. thank you, signed her first look deal with Apple. So she came up.
Yep.
It's just rare for HBO to make this type of move, especially when a show got 18 Emmy nominations. So, but go ahead, please.
We all heard about the Lovecraft Country thing, and then when we finally dug deeper, it seems like it was more of Misha and her team's fault, because they were kind of worried that they wouldn't be able to meet the standards and criteria that they created. They created and set the bar so high. They were worried about making sure that they continued with that. Now being able to run the show without any of the source material, because they've gone beyond it, was a worry to them, because they wanted to still keep the heart of the source material and keep the heart of what they created now, and make sure that both of those people were happy. They felt that they weren't able to really do it. They kept rewriting, and finally got to a point where they were like, all right, what do you got? So we got to start getting ready. You got to start, putting everything down for production. Executive producer needs numbers. And it was like, maybe I could, okay, maybe we should, but it wasn't a solid answer from her or her team as well. So they were like, well, then I guess we're just going to have to cut it. And it was agreed upon by both. It wasn't just HBO. A lot of people, they see it, and they're like, HBO just kill a black show because they can. And there was more to it. So my thing is, with Misha having that kind of backstep for Lovecraft Country, how does she have the strength to have the forward step to go ahead and say Black Canary?
Well,
I wonder. I know that it's a different team with Black Canary. And with that, there could be a lot of different kind of moving parts for Black Canary that make it for a conducive kind of work environment to create all this stuff.
So real quick, because in terms of, if I had a profile skill set, right, like video games would be my top sort of category, specific era. Comics is like probably 3, maybe 4. Do you follow DC? Are you
yeah, I'm a DC guy. I like, when it comes to the comics, I love DC. Marvel, when it comes to films, I'm definitely in it, but I also know Marvel shit too. So comics, I know it.
So okay, has there ever been a Black Canary in DC in the comics?
People will say yes, but the truth of the matter is no. There wasn't one that literally was bestowed upon the name of Black Canary. There have been people that have filled in because what's her name was out for so many different reasons. Writers wanted to use her to do a bunch of shit with Green Arrow. Like Kevin Smith used her a lot during his Green Arrow thing. But no, there hasn't been a Black Canary. So this is great. And of course, out of all the people you should pick, it's great to go ahead and continue with one that's already been assigned. Jurnee Smolett, that's perfect. She was the Black Canary in the Harley Quinn film. So keep her and run with it.
Oh, so this is coming off the Birds of Prey?
Yeah.
Okay. See, I didn't see that movie.
It actually wasn't as bad as you think it was. It really wasn't. It knew what it was. Just like how it knew exactly what it was. There was no need for Joker, so there wasn't any Joker in it. And it was very girl power, blah blah blah, inclusive, blah blah blah. Everything was covered under the umbrella. If you were Black, if you were a lesbian, if you were a woman, all right, here's that umbrella. We got all that taken care of. So now let's just fucking make a movie. So it was like, that's what they did. And they did well. They didn't like poke at stuff to say like, oh, hey, we're inclusive. Hey, there's a Black person here. Hey, Ewan McGregor, he's gay. It was like, yeah, he is, but they didn't just make it rain, you know, like, hey, I'm gay today. It was none of that. And it was just like, hey, here we are. Here our characters are. And let's get into some fucking mayhem. And that's what they did in that movie. It was pretty good. And I feel that if they didn't do that, we wouldn't get the Suicide Squad that we have now. That the new Suicide film.
The new first Suicide Squad film?
Yeah, I'm sorry to say it. It is the new first Suicide Squad. Sorry,
gave
Will.
No fucks about the movie. Like, it didn't happen 3 years ago. Like,
sorry, Will. I'm just, hey, man. Idris did it better. Whatever.
That's insane. Okay, so question for you. Mm-hmm. You are okay with essentially, you know, when they turn a character black that's not of canon. You're okay with that?
Yep. I'm okay with it. I mean, fucking do it, but don't do it like you did with Fury. When they did it with Fury, it was like, yeah, we just did it. It wasn't, oh shit, we got to make sure we do this because, you know, has to be this level of representation. Because when you do it like that, what you're doing is you're literally giving me a true, indeed Minority Report. You're going over it and you're like, all right, here goes our minority hires. Let's make sure we get those because we need them to continue. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for you to just make the change, unless it's something that has to happen that's important. Because when you look at Spider-Man, I'll ask you, what's the most important thing about being Peter Parker? Not Spider-Man, but what's the most important thing about being Peter Parker? It's being a student. It's being young. It's not as being old as everyone else that's in this game. You're supposed to be the younger one and yet still be able to catch up. That's all it is for being Peter Parker. So when they did the whole Miles Morales thing in Ultimates, they killed Peter Parker and they brought in Miles Morales. And what was his thing? I'm young. I'm just learning how to do this. I'm not like everybody else. That's all that it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be this ultimate thing of individuality as well as trying to assimilate in a way. Because, you know, you're becoming a superhero, you have to assimilate to do how they do shit. So that's what you want with your Spider-Man character. But his change in color was important culturally. It impacted us culturally. But the thing is, that wasn't their intention. They just said, all right, well, you know what? We got a chance to do something. Let's make sure that when we do pick a new person to put on this mantle, that, you know, they're getting to experience life in a different way than how Peter did. Because now you're this young guy doing things. If you're a young white kid now and you get bit by a spider, blah, 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 you're living on the Upper West Side, trust me, you've got all the special Stark shit and you just bought that from fucking a high-priced white Radio Shack. I don't know. But you can't get that when you're not white. And that's the thing. We had to keep them at that level. And truth of the matter is, hey, you know, yeah, your dad's a cop, your mom's running for like political blah, 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 but still, you're not just flush with cash. You don't have all those opportunities. And there are new things that are going to kind of get in the way. And that helps build on the character, which is great. But like I said, flipping on color, I'm okay with it as long as.
See, sometimes it works, and I think
make it a thing.
You brought up Nick Fury, and I think there was just such a certain special set of circumstances when it came to that particular character. Because correct me if I'm wrong, but the ultimate version of Nick Fury was black prior to the MCU, correct?
Yeah. Yep.
Right. And Nick Fury, in my mind, was a secondary character within the comics.
That's right.
That can be elevated with the profile of a Samuel L. Jackson in live action. So I think that was like a perfect sort of equation in terms of that. And don't get me wrong, I love Miles Morales. Like, I ain't gonna lie, like, I'm envious. Like, if I wish this shit was around 18 years ago, because I could have gone for the fucking part. he looked like me. My hair don't look quite like that right now, but trust me, I got pictures. We're not going over that, but I need to move on, so I'm gonna move on. But and it's not just the painting the character black that's my issue. And we've talked about this in a lot of different ways in terms of flipping the color. It's more about like, it's not just about flipping the colors. When you say all of a sudden Iceman's gay now, like after 60 years of
I just wrote something about this.
Just, he's been getting women for 60 years and now he's gay. Mm-hmm. Or even with the Robin thing that came out with Tim Drake. And of the 3 Robins, he had the profile that could essentially go either way. Of the 3 most. Yeah. I get it. Yeah. I get it. But to me, as a man, and what me and B Walt are working on, we know how hard it is to create a character from scratch and give it context, especially when it's non-white, an experiment, as some people in Disney would say.
Right.
So there's a lot of investment in doing that. So to me, it's like, I feel like they're pandering to a certain audience, and they're choosing certain characters. And I'm not saying with Black Canary because I don't know enough, but the Iceman thing really pissed me off.
I'll say this.
The Robin thing was cool, but
I'll say this.
The Iceman.
I had more of a problem or a worry with Robin than I did Iceman. And the reason I'll say this is because when someone chooses to literally come out and say, I'm gay, I'm bi, I'm this, I'm that, there is a lot more that goes on than just what we see on social media. They have to deal with their family. They have to deal with their friends. They have to deal with themselves, and having to come to grips with, this is who I am. Either I chose or I feel that I'm born, whatever it may be, this is now who I am, and now I'm putting the world on notice. Iceman, when they did it with Iceman, they made sure to hire Cena Grace. This dude's gay, and he's a writer. And when they made Iceman gay, Cena Grace, here he is with the pen, and he goes in about the trauma, about how I'm worried about how Wolverine is going to look at me now. I'm worried about how people are going to feel with me in the field. I have to deal with, now we just finished a mission, let's hit the showers, and everyone's saying, well, I'm not going to take a shower with you in that room. Oh, we're close. We're best friends. Cyclops feels close to me, but guess what Cyclops won't do? Take a shower in the same room with me. And they dealt with that on X-Men. And I was like, give him the fucking Eisner Award. Because usually when you have a character turn gay, it's open for jokes, and it's open for one fight or argument with their parent or something. And that's it. That's all you get. You don't get to see everything else about how they have to deal with everything socially and blah, blah. They did that with Iceman. So I commend them for that. I was more worried that they weren't and chose not to do it with Robin. And then somebody told me, well, what they're trying to do is normalize someone's coming out. And the best way to normalize it is to just have him do it and just face on. And yeah, he'll, he has a very supportive group around him. The Bat family is very supportive. So he's not going to have to hear Bruce saying, well, guess we're not sliding down those poles anymore, buddy. I know what you got going on. Or any of that shit. You're not going to hear any of that. Batman's like, hey, good job. That's my son. I appreciate him. Barbara, oh yeah, hey, bravo. I thought he had a crush on me, but he likes dudes too. That's fine. Like, no one's going to pick on him or rip him up. He's not going to have to deal with that trauma. But the thing is, what he is dealing with is having to accept, understand, and navigate it himself. And I was like, damn, all right, cool. So I'm not mad at it anymore because now I've understood a little bit more because someone took the time to say, well, no, what they are doing is normalizing it. And the best way to normalize it is to just leave it all out there. He doesn't have a father anymore because his father is dead.
Right.
So he doesn't have a father to deal with. But if his father was alive, that was going to be a problem. Because his dad was like a hardcore kind of like a bigot.
Yeah. I think you brought up the Batman point. In terms of your parental figure lacking emotional intelligence and having, I feel like Bruce probably knew 8 years ago.
Yep.
And just said, I'll wait till he tells me.
Yes. Yeah.
And that setup makes complete sense to facilitate, to your point, the normalization of what's going on in the context of Robin. It's funny because I just feel like he would just be like, I've known this for a while. Alfred found you doing da 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 da. I've got papers here and documents. Computer said it like.
Yep.
I feel like there'd be a funny moment.
I've seen your Google search, you know. I'm just saying. He's like, I've seen your Google search. That's right. Wow. You know.
According to your metrics, you've been this.
According to your metrics, BBC is not just a British broadcasting company. Not what I see here. So, you know, but that's going to be it.
but I get, I mean, thank you for giving me that context on the Iceman scenario, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Because I didn't. I still feel it's lazy to make a prominent character, especially one that's like, he's had multiple girlfriends in that series.
Yes.
For like generations before me.
Yeah.
I think it's still lazy.
I mean, dude.
Right. Wow. And that's why he was with the team. Like when he wasn't, like, time for some action. Like that. And I'm clearly, if I haven't made it clear, I'm a huge Iceman fan. And he's all the X-Men are OP. But the literal description of his powers are he's able to freeze the air in the atmosphere. He don't have to touch shit. He don't have to point at nothing. He can just think, and your shit is frozen.
He's he's an Omega level mutant. Yeah.
Right. I clearly feel when Stan Lee put the X-Men together, he was like, they can take on the Justice League. No one just knows it yet. Because all of them are OP. Like all of them. I think Wolverine's the weakest one. Like in terms of like what he can do.
That's true.
But again, I digress. But no, it's, you know, we were talking about flipping the color and just what they do with these characters. I think it sometimes has been, I think overall, I think we could say, you know, it depends on your perspective. And some have worked better than others. I really feel Nick Fury, like that was dead on. Like, because I kept thinking Nick Fury himself really didn't have a defining face as a character. You know what I mean?
Not at all.
It's so, you know, and Samuel is Samuel, so it makes total sense. But let's get back to what this topic was about. I'm excited about this being on HBO Max, my favorite app. I'm gonna check out Black Canary. I still need to finish the first season and the only season of Lovecraft Country as soon as I find time. But you're on board with this? This is a go for you?
This is a go for me. Smolett, I'm glad to see her doing anything. It's kind of big for me, especially because when you really think about it, it's like I still miss Lovecraft Country. So
right.
I'm just like, I need more of her, and it's like, oh, there you go, and it's gonna be kind of like a mini Lovecraft in a way. Let's do this.
Right.
So,
right. Yeah, we'll be checking it out. Let's keep it pushing. You brought up Kevin Smith a couple topics ago. This ain't about Kevin Smith, but I'm gonna make it about Kevin Smith. There was another He-Man that debuted a trailer You already know where I'm going. You already know where I'm going.
Okay. All right.
That's on Netflix. Another He-Man adaptation on Netflix. And I watched the trailer, and I've never seen a property fucked twice so quickly by the same entity that literally just got it right with Castlevania. Like, that figured it out. And Castlevania season 4 is the Game of Thrones season 8 was supposed to be in animation.
Honestly, yes.
In my opinion, in my humble opinion.
Yeah.
And
Adi Shankar knew what he was doing. Adi Shankar, when he's a fan of something, he really works on it.
He nailed it, bro. And like, because Castlevania season 1 had his issues, 2 had his issues, different issues. 3 I really had a problem with because I'm an Alucard fan.
So you didn't like the way they took away a lot of what was Alucard and kind of replaced it or mixed it with they kind of mixed it with Simon, didn't they?
What he literally doesn't leave the castle.
Yeah.
He has a threesome, so now he's gay.
Oh,
now
yeah, yeah.
Right. Let's just throw that in there.
Well, it's a vampire. Why isn't he gay? They suck things all the time. They can't suck dick. You're like, okay, that's not how it works.
Right, but there's been no connotation of that in the games
at all.
And that's all he did for the entire season. So yeah, I had a problem with it. But season 4 made up with it because it was just that great.
It was.
Season 4 Castlevania was the next best thing in terms of animation outside of Invincible for me.
Ooh.
So when they said that they were dropping He-Man and they dropped that trailer, and then I watched He-Man that didn't have He-Man in it, and now this comes out.
All right. Now
I told you I was gonna make it about Kevin Smith. I said I was gonna make it about.
No, they were smart, and they said Masters of the Universe.
Bro,
they didn't call it He-Man. They didn't say He-Man in the Masters of the Universe.
No, they didn't.
That one is just Masters of the Universe. The other one is He-Man and Masters of the Universe.
I don't care though, because the bait and switch is in. The bait and switch, bro. You listen. They didn't say They didn't say He-Man. They said Masters of the Universe. You are correct. But that Masters of the Universe trailer had a lot of He-Man in it.
Yes, it was.
It actually had 90% of the He-Man that's in the entire series in
which is pretty much just the first episode, the 5th episode, and the last episode. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And the last episode, we go to He-Man Heaven. We come back from He-Man Heaven, and then guess what happens after that? Guess what happens? He don't have the power. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
He don't have the power.
Yeah.
So
okay, see, I'll say this. I'm a big proponent of the phrase "kill your darlings." I'm a big fan of, like, okay, we've known this person for so long. We love this person. This person's so great. Blah 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 blah. But sometimes there's a dark side that we never really take the time to pay attention to, or they are really flawed. But we've been shoving down this propaganda down our gullet the whole time that we never saw how flawed they were, or that kind of shit. And I love when it's revealed, or when it's turned around, or when you just kill them. And when they did that on this Masters of the Universe, I was kind of like, all right, I'm here for it, because what are you going to do next? You're kind of running the show like Shonda Rhimes. Because when Shonda Rhimes has a writing room, they do this shit where they're like, all right, cool. So what's like the wildest thing we could do? Blah, blah. And they're like, fine, let's what she ran the whatever Grey's Anatomy. She was like, let's kill McDreamy. And they were like, okay. If we did, what would we do? Oh, we do this, we do that, we do this, we do that. What will be the repercussions? Oh, well, this, that, and the other. Fine, that's what we're doing. And she runs a show like that. And it's fucking dope, because it will write you into a corner, and you have to be a good enough writer to write yourself out of it. Or say, you know what? Here's the corner. We're running up the fucking wall. I like that kind of stuff. And for this was great, because it changed and kind of messed with our expectations. We expected to see He-Man doing a bunch of He-Man shit and blah, blah, blah. And when it comes to Masters of the Universe, let's be honest, no one gives a fuck about any of those people. We only care about He-Man. So what did they do? They were like, we want to go ahead and introduce you to these people in a great way. Show you why they are the masters of the universe. And that's what they did. They focused on them instead of focusing on He-Man. We know about He-Man. We know about all the great shit he's done. What about these people that you never fucking pay attention to?
See, I get the argument. I understand the context. My perspective, and it's just so we staying on topic. I'm not with this trailer either. Let's just be clear with that.
Okay, all right.
But like I said, I was gonna make this about Kevin Smith. I'm not even a big He-Man guy. Like, I figured out I was over He-Man in the 80s.
Yes.
It had Scooby-Doo vibes to me. Like, it kept showing and doing the same thing. I'm like, bro, exactly. I'm off. With that being said, I was interested and reinvigorated by that trailer. With that song, and Man at Arms is like the second dopest name after War Machine to me. And he's out there hustling, doing his human thing and shit like that. And then we get to the actual show. And I'll speak to the people that I've watched the show with and talked about it with. You alienated the core audience with the way you handled this situation.
I like that. I like
if he dies in the beginning, right? And we have to see it, I don't think Teela in the hood was a strong enough storyline for me to just be paying attention to that. I'll put it that way. If we got to see He-Man go through like a Soul Reaver journey where he has to deal with stuff in the spiritual realm where he can't use his strength. Now we got to see Prince Adam figure out some stuff and walk him through He-Man heaven and all that. And Teela's doing her thing on a B storyline, so we're going back and forth. That's cool. I get that. That's fine. That's a better way to get to the ending of something that was too short, that lied to me, and now I have to wait almost 3 years for and get us and see where it goes from here. So that's where I'm coming from.
All right, you sold me.
Especially what we just talked about. Castlevania season 4, Invincible. You just watched Loki. I don't even know if we ain't even talked about it, but I know you watched it.
Yep.
And so it's been hot as a pistol lately.
Yeah. Okay. Oh God, that is true.
So you come
with this, which is like it's been hot as a pistol, and then after that, you just give me hot dog shit.
Yo, I didn't pay for this.
I get it.
I can't get jiggy with this. Kiss my ass so what?
I can only get jiggy with this shit.
Yeah, and then we gotta wait almost 3 years. You wasted Mark Hamill, and you blew away the He-Man thing. And I saw the Easter eggs and things like that. The Wonder Bread He-Man and He-Man Heaven, that was hilarious. Shout out to Toy Galaxy. I watched that video.
Yeah.
But like again, and I had if they would have presented the show as we're gonna focus on Teela instead of just hiding it, I would have added, because it wasn't bad on its own right. It was the way they presented it to me that I had the issue with.
They did lie. They did lie to you. They did lie to you. Out going through all the promos, they definitely lied to you.
And that was intentional.
The universe, and all you saw was He-Man, He-Man, He-Man. And then they were like, 5 minutes in. All right, let's keep going. You were like, wait, what's wrong? Yeah, right.
Like I didn't mind Skeletor becoming Super Shredder at the end. I just didn't like how they got there, because that's who he turned into.
Yeah, that's exactly what he turned into.
But you think about it. By episode 3, we had lost He-Man, Orko, and Roboto.
Yeah,
and Cringer, Cringer was around for how many? What, he showed up in the beginning and the end. It's like, I don't know any of these people. To your point, I don't know any of these people. Like, I didn't have Evil Lynn growing up. Like, no.
Well, she was there, but I didn't care about her.
she was probably like 8 episodes in the 80s. Like she was like, you know, and then I mean, I could go on and on. So let's see if Kevin Smith can fix that show. This trailer for the new one, I'm not watching it either because I don't like this animation. So I'm gonna leave it at that. What are your thoughts on this current trailer?
Because just like you said, I did not like the animation, and I was just like, yep, I'm out. That was it.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. You know, third time's a charm. Netflix with He-Man. Like, maybe I don't know.
I mean, so it's fair to say for you, if this one fails, then forget it. That I'm sorry, Mattel. There's no way I'm gonna ever back anything you do. This is it.
That's like this was an easy win. This was an easy win. It was especially in this culture right now. Like people still can't really go out. That's up and down. Like again, and you bring it out. Like I heard about this show before Loki, before season 4, before Invincible. Like I had to get put on. I had to get passed on to know about Invincible. I saw the first episode. I said, bro. So, it is what it is. And then we'll be in a completely different space 3 years from now when this comes back. I don't care anymore. Like, I don't even care. Just thinking about that makes me not care.
Man,
I'm done ranting. No,
I mean, that is true. Just thinking about it, like just the passage of time and what it can do for the actions that they're taking. You're right. 3 years from now, I'm not going to care about it. I'm not going to worry about it. But I will say, 3 years from now, one thing that I think we will be talking about, or at least considering,
oh boy,
is what is going to happen right now with Disney pretty much reporting or considering buying out Sony.
That was the next joint. That was I was like, we're gonna close out on the Disney.
I know. I got you. I'm here. I will move. I will go segues. I got you.
It's so black here right now. It's so black.
We're on there. We're on that level. But no, honestly, years from now, that's going to be the big conversation, because it was the big conversation 3 years ago prior, when they decided, okay, hey, Marvel's going to work with Sony and do this whole Spider-Man thing. And it was unprecedented. There's never been a time where one big studio literally looks at its rival and says, I'll work with you to make what you've got better, because what you've got better will help me.
Right.
Genius job on Kevin Feige, seeing the whole picture and saying, well, ultimately there will be a time where Sony, because Sony was looking like they were going to go bankrupt. They were like, but they're holding down on the whole idea of making another Spider-Man.
Yeah.
We can make sure that they make a good one. And then when they do finally go bankrupt and we buy it from them, thank God Disney's piggy bank, once we buy it from them, we'll be able to continue if we tell them what to do. Kevin, you used to work for Sony. You used to work for the woman who's in charge of it right now. You guys have a working relationship. Kevin knew that. And he said, hey, I'm coming over to you. I'm crossing over the lines and I want to make something work. But the whole time, he's just thinking, once they finally fucking fail and they can't afford anything, we'll just buy it from them. And they've done a lot of the setup work and we'll just continue. And that's what we'll do. And it was like, damn, that's fucking genius. That's also an evil mastermind, but it's genius.
Yeah.
And so now hearing that, like, finally they're like, yo, so Joe Quesada and a bunch of idiots a long time ago fucked up by selling all of this shit, and we need to get it back. So come on, Sony, just we played nice, now just we're Disney, we own the world. I think we bought the moon last week. Just fucking give us Spider-Man, and
We got healthcare coming next December.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Right. But my thing is, why aren't they eyeing? Like, I know how they kind of worked around it for the Hulk, because the Hulk is still owned by Universal, and
still as of right now.
Yeah, as of right now. That's why you don't see Hulk in a solo film.
Wow,
Hulk can be in films and blah blah blah. He can be in a buddy cop film. That's what we got with Thor, but he cannot be the title character. Hulk. We can't have a Hulk film. So we'll put him in everything else. We got She-Hulk. Nobody wanted to buy that. So we'll run with She-Hulk and throw Hulk in it as well. And we'll still throw Hulk in Thor to make Thor good. You know, like, it's genius. And it's just like, Kevin Feige can't lose. This man can't lose. Think about it. Guardians of the Galaxy. Before the movie, who actually knew the actual current lineup for the Guardians of the Galaxy? One. And two, who knew anything about them? I mean, somebody comes to you and says, I got a talking tree and a raccoon, and then a white guy and a green chick. Oh, yeah, there's a muscle-bound green guy, too. It's going to be fucking great. And you're like, yeah, well, okay. So you've been doing coke in the waiting room, and now you're just pitching me shit. Like, that's all you're getting. But yet, here it goes. They drop it, and it's a phenomenon. So Feige was just like, all right, look, I proved to you I can do anything I want, and it will sell. So let's start eyeing Spider-Man. And that's what's happening. But my question is Sony finally going to be like, yeah, okay, we'll sell it? Because they sell it, they got to have to sell Venom too, and Craven,
Carnage,
and
Mobius.
Craven, Carnage, Venom, and like some other characters they were looking to make films of. They're going to have to sell each one of those also. That's a good payday. But the thing is still, now you don't have it. What are you going to do, Sony?
I think the writing was on the wall for Sony when Kevin Feige showed up. Like, it was already there.
Okay.
You know, no disrespect to Andrew Garfield. I think he's a great actor. I didn't fuck with those Spider-Man movies. I don't remember a scene from the first one. And the second one, my issue with him as Spider-Man is he was too cool as Peter Parker. Like, he had too much swag. He's saving the world. He's swinging through the city. He flips to the graduation, flips into the outfit. And it's like, hey, my niggas, was good. It's good. We getting at it. We made it.
He was too cool for school. He was down with everybody, and it was just like, that's not the Peter I know.
That ain't Peter. Like,
true.
That may be Peter with the symbiote, but that's for like 30 minutes in the big scheme of things. Like, a little bit, just a little bit.
Yep.
And then that's not actually Peter. It's the symbiote. So those movies didn't fly. Kevin gave them an offer they couldn't refuse, and I think with the money that's been made between now and then, and when he approaches them, it's going to be a bigger offer that they can't refuse, because it's kind of like when EA got the license on the re-up again from the NFL. Like, it would be more fruitful for them to have competition, but EA came up with so much money up top. They was like, we don't have to do nothing,
Oh yeah.
Right. So I think Sony's going to be in that same type of situation, and I think it's a good thing. Like, seeing Spider-Man in an MCU movie, it just felt right. They did him right.
Completely. And I like the idea of, look, guys, we're not going to give you an origin. You know who he is.
Right.
Let's keep going.
Right.
And that was it. And it was like, yo, that's exactly what I needed. I did not need another Spider-Man origin. I don't care about his fucking uncle. I don't. All the things they do with him and everything. It's, you good power, responsibility. Shut up and die. Let's move on. And that's what we did. And it was like, yeah, let's go with that. And I love it. I love it. We don't need to see this guy who represents his morality. You let him have it on his own and continue on with it. We get where he got it from, but let's move on.
Speaking of which,
cry at the beginning of this movie.
And this, I think this is key to what we're talking about. And I'll present you with this question. If Sony sells all the characters, does that also include the Into the Spider-Verse characters as well?
That's what I'm thinking. I think if Feige's making the move for Spider-Man, he knows he can't just be like, all right, let me take Spider-Man and we're good. And then he's like, oh shit, we want to make a Spider-Man movie. Let's do the Sinister Six. We can't. We didn't buy Dr. Octopus.
We didn't get all of them.
Yeah, we didn't get Craven. We didn't get. Oh, okay, well, let's just change it up. And you're like, Kevin, we can't. And he's like, yeah, you're right. He would know that. And so he's going to be like, hey, are these all the toys that I let you have? I'm buying them back. Right. And he's going to make a big sweep. Anything that's Marvel, it's going to be under that Marvel umbrella. It's going to be home. I remember that's what he said. He said, that's what I want. I want to bring Marvel home. And it's like, damn. And I think once Feige does that, and releases movies for everything that he's brought back home, I think that's when Feige's going to finally go ahead and be like, I'm stepping down. I did what I wanted to do. I brought Marvel home. Now let me run and take care of whatever else Disney wants me to take care of now.
That's real. That's real. I think that's the key. Yeah, Sony, it's weird. Into the Spider-Verse is one of the best movies I have ever seen, live action or animated, does not matter.
Definitely.
I think that's their best installment of Spider-Man in terms of a movie. I'm looking forward to the next one for sure. But I would love to see all of this in the MCU for what it's, it is what it is. So yeah, I'm excited about it. I don't think Sony's really got a choice though. I think they really just need to decide on what money they want to get for it. Because here's the thing. Even let's say they stop collabing, right?
Right.
And they go back to Spider-Man exclusively doing live action with Sony on its own. It won't feel the same to the audience. It won't feel the same to the people that have come up with Vulture, Michael Keaton, and the best Mysterio interpretation that I've ever seen in my life. Like it's and then this third one that's about to drop that's got more cameos than 36 Chambers. Like you got the RZA, you got the original 9, you got the Killer Bees, you got Sons of Man coming through. There's 2 dudes from the Grave Diggers. Capadonna's here. Like you Capadonna. Right. Milk this cow the best way we know how.
Oh my God. Bro, thank you. I appreciate that.
Every time you hear about the movie, I don't think they need to drop a trailer because someone else is coming. That's my take on it. But I think you gotta. That's a good perspective on Kevin, because he was the one that was pushing we need to roll the dice on Iron Man.
Yeah.
So he's essentially through these stories he's writing his own. So that's legacy shit right there.
His whole deal was it's all connected, and once he announced that and said that at whatever, I forgot what year it was at Comic-Con, but he was like, it's all connected, the Marvel Universe. And when he said that, he wanted at that moment, let's go ahead and buy these things back. Let's get Fantastic Four. Let's get blah, blah. And that's when Sony and Fox were like, yeah, oh, we got something you want now. Oh, and you've got money behind you now? Oh, here's the price now. It was like, before they were like, yeah, we're not doing anything. We're not going to make a movie. And then when it was like, oh, now it's a bidding war. Now let's fucking make this movie before we run out. Let's make this movie. And then they kept rushing. Let's rush this Spider-Man out. They just kept rushing Spider-Mans out. They kept rushing Fantastic Fours out on Fox's end. So then now we absorbed Fox. Fantastic Four is ours. And he's like, all right, what else is left? and they're like, oh well, we got Universal with the Hulk, and then we've got Spider-Man. Universal was like, I don't give a fuck what you give me, we're not letting go of Hulk. And they were like, all right, we'll work with you. And then once that happened and they worked with Universal, Sony was like, yeah, we don't want to sell them either. And then they're like, all right, we'll work with you, Sony. And Sony was like, will you? Please, thank God, we didn't know what to do, you know? So they were happy with that. And they're just figuring out, we're going to hold on to this. But you can only do it for so long. There's going to be a time where it's like, all right, we're not going to work with you anymore. Let's see what you got. You're going to be like, well, I got nothing. So let me just buy it back.
Right.
That's where we're going to get to. And I think that's what we're getting to now, because the way they're doing stuff and the way they're getting to, it's like, you can't hire the Lords to write another Spider-Man movie for you. The only thing they're going to do is write you another Spider-Man multiverse. That's what the Lords do. That's their thing. You know, hey, we did great for a Lego movie. We're going to do great for this. And they did. But you're not going to try to tap them and say, hey, guys, can you write an actual live action Spider-Man? They're like, no, because we don't have all the toys that we want to play with to do it. That's the thing. So it's like, well, shit, you would if it was at Marvel. And that's when Feige's like, hey, so you ready to sell? It's like, anyway,
I think it's inevitable.
Yeah, it's it. That's it. Fuck it. He's Thanos. It's inevitable. That's it. That's all we're waiting for. When they're like, we have nothing else, and he's like, I know. That's it.
What was he saying in the What If? I wouldn't call it genocide. I'd call it a fishing.
Yeah,
you know,
that's Feige.
But yeah, real quick, personal question: what's your favorite Spider-Man flick? Okay. Silence.
Yeah, I know. I'd take a moment and stop, because honestly, fuck, people are gonna hate me for this, but the Spider-Man 2, the Doc
Sam Raimi,
yeah, that whole
that is Black accurate, bro.
I'm telling you, Blaccurate.
It's Blaccurate. It is all black. That I still get chills at that last fight scene on the train.
Oh, so good.
It's so good.
But for me, it started out the gate with that bank robbery, and Doc Ock is climbing up the building, and he's chucking the money bags and all this stuff, and they're doing all this. The CG was so good, and I'm like, I look at it now, and I'm like, shit, that whole scene, the CG holds up. Then other parts of the movie, you're like, what the fuck? He's swinging, and it looks horrible, but then why did we get it so good during the whole bank robbery scene? And then later on the train, yes. And it was really good. So Raimi understood what he was doing, and he knew to get the right people to do it. And they did it well. That's why I think that movie was a really good one. After that, I mean, you know, the first one really wasn't all that great. So the second one was good. Then after that, of course, we don't talk about the third.
No.
And then we really don't want to talk about Garfield, because, I mean, it was pretty much a Pharrell music video with that whole thing with the lights and the music, and I don't know what was happening. Pharrell was like, I do soundtracks now, and look at me, and then so he did this one, and they were like, oh, we shouldn't have let Pharrell direct this sequence, but it was too late. So moving on from there to now the new Spider-Man stuff is great.
That's funny.
I'm just not putting it in my list. It's like a given, so I don't even have to put it in my list. It's a given. So
I get where you're going there. Right, you knew when it got to Marvel. Well, this is what I expected.
Yep.
They've incrementally got better for me, the MCU joints. I'm a huge Michael Keaton fan. Like he's one of my top favorite white guys ever.
That's right.
Birds and bats, he does well, including Birdman. Like that movie, yeah.
Let's not lie, that movie's amazing.
That movie is in my top 10. That movie is in my top 10. And then, but their interpretation of Mysterio, and then how they flip that, and then the J. Jonah drop at the end, like JK doing his thing. So it was like, wow, that one, and the second one was actually funny. And I thought about getting pissed about the term night monkey. I thought about getting pissed.
I thought about it. I thought about it. Then I was like, but it's a white guy.
Right. I was like, all right. This isn't Miles. Right. So, but I mean, it still was Sonic the Hedgehog. It was still like at the edge of the thing, like Night Monkey. That's a nigga right there. Somewhere.
Yeah, right. I was like, I'm offended, but let me see what y'all doing first.
Right. Let's just see where this Night Monkey shit go.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And then when he got to swing, I was like, all right, that was funny. All right, carry on. Like,
yeah.
It was that. But no, Sam Raimi. Like I number one, Sam Raimi is Batman to me. That's his Batman. Number two, like that's my one, bro. Like still. No disrespect to Andrew Garfield, none at all. It just didn't work out. You know, he should have been a different hero. They should have done something. He could have been something else, and that would have worked to me.
Sorry.
But not as a Spider-Man. But that is the end of episode 29.
Woo.
Brotherhood Language Approaching Conversation Kinetically About Fiction, with our special guests, D Squared, Danny Digital, Battlestar, Galactica, the Blackrit motherfucker in the house, LA to New York, coast to coast, on some Sade shit. Appreciate you bringing the movie dance to Shang-Chi. We appreciate the hustle. You know, we feel like we got it straight from the streets. Shout out to the Illuminati. Come check that out. Give them the handles. Drop your handles. Where can they find you? Where can they check you out?
Well, definitely head over to Twitter and just follow the Illuminati right there. Anything that I know, you will know. You'll find it right there. And you can also go to our website, theilluminati.com. That's where we're dropping just exclusives, trying to give you guys as much news, info, and anything else we can. And usually, I'm just going to say, we definitely are on Feige's list. Sometimes he hates us, sometimes he loves us. But we're doing it because we're nerds, we're geeks, just like you. And I mean, we're in this culture where everybody wants to know what's going to happen before it happens, and we're going to play to it. So I mean, that's what we do. Spoilers, just be aware. They abound on our website. They definitely do. Speculations also do, and discussions just like this we have on our YouTube channel as well. You can just head over to YouTube and look for the Illuminati there. We're trying to take over everything. We even do podcasts too. So it was great for me to show up right here and be right here on the Black AF. And I love how you have the breakdown, what B means, L means. Oh, trust me, genius. That is genius. Use that for any level of marketing. It should put you in like a stratosphere beyond so many other people, man. I'm telling you,
I appreciate that.
I love it. I love what you guys do already. So this is just like, man, just bravo.
You've been solid since I met you, bro. We appreciate the support on Instagram and in person. We definitely got to connect when we go down to Mike's down in Long Beach.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've been there yet. But yeah, we would love to have you back. You're always welcome. And we appreciate you movie dancing with us. And yeah, man, I think this is good that one Black entity can support another one in the same lifeline, in the same environment. I think that's we need to see more of that. More Sonys helping out the MCUs and vice versa and things like that. I'm Sony in this situation. We're Sony. Like, we got some good shit, but the web ain't coming out the way it's supposed to. So Nah, thank you for that. BLACKAZFUK, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. The website is www.blackafhq.com. Every Monday, we are here, 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can check out us on podcasts on Spotify, iTunes, and the YouTube video will be on our home network, Moonshine TV. So we'll have the link ready in there. Strength and blessings, everybody. The 12 people that are watching. Be What will be back soon. And we out. Peace.
Brotherhood approaching conversation kinetically about fiction. This is Blaccent.